Welcome to Happy Plotter. Today, we'll be delving into one of the darkest and most feared groups in the wizarding world, the Death Eaters. Who were they? How did they form? What was their original name? How did one become a Death Eater? Why were some of them not purebloods? What role did they play in both wizarding wars? And what became of them after Voldemort's final defeat? In this deep dive, we'll explore the origins of this sinister faction, their recruitment methods, their structure, and their ultimate downfall. From Tom Riddle's early days at Hogwarts to the Death Eaters' rise and fall, we'll uncover the dark history of Voldemort's most devoted followers. Let's get into it. Everyone, welcome to another installment of Happy Plotter. Today, we're diving into the history of Voldemort's most loyal followers, the Death Eaters. We'll explore their origins, how they formed, what they were initially called, how one could become a Death Eater, why some members weren't purebloods, their role in both wizarding wars, and what became of them after Voldemort's downfall. Tom Riddle and the origins of the Death Eaters. It all began with a young orphan named Tom Riddle, who started attending Hogwarts in 1938. On the surface, Riddle appeared to be a gifted and charismatic student, but beneath that facade lay deep-seated darkness. His tragic childhood shaped him into the ruthless figure he would become. Abandoned at birth, Riddle was left at Wool's orphanage by his mother, Merope Gaunt, a pureblood witch and descendant of Salazar Slytherin. She had used a love potion to ensnare a wealthy muggle, Tom Riddle Sr., but when she stopped using magic to control him, he abandoned her. Heartbroken and impoverished, Merope died shortly after giving birth, leaving young Tom to grow up alone, without love or guidance. As Riddle grew older, he discovered his magical abilities and was eventually accepted into Hogwarts, where he was sorted into Slytherin. Cunning and manipulative, he quickly gained a following, forming a group of loyal Slytherin students. These early followers would later evolve into the infamous Death Eaters, but before that, they were known as the Knights of Walpurgis. The Knights of Walpurgis and the Rise of the Death Eaters. In a 2003 interview, J.K. Rowling mentioned that before becoming the Death Eaters, Voldemort's followers were called the Knights of Walpurgis. The name likely references Walpurgis Night, a European festival associated with witchcraft and dark rituals. During his time at Hogwarts, Riddle built a network of devoted followers, recruiting those who were either weak and seeking protection, ambitious and seeking power, or violent and eager to inflict cruelty. By 1970, decades after Riddle left Hogwarts and transformed into Lord Voldemort, the Knights of Walpurgis officially became the Death Eaters, a feared and radical supremacist group devoted to pureblood rule. Recruitment. How did one become a Death Eater? Many of Voldemort's earliest followers were his classmates at Hogwarts, while others were recruited through their family lineage. However, joining the Death Eaters was not an open invitation. Voldemort was selective about who could enter his ranks. Blood purity. Most Death Eaters were purebloods, as they believed in wizarding supremacy. However, exceptions were made for powerful half-bloods like Severus Snape. Magical talent. Any potential recruit needed to demonstrate strong magical abilities, especially in the dark arts. Initiation and loyalty tests. Voldemort either handpicked followers himself or allowed existing Death Eaters to recommend new members. Recruits had to prove their loyalty through dark and violent acts, possibly including the use of unforgivable curses such as the Killing Curse. The Dark Mark. Once accepted, a recruit received the Dark Mark, a symbol of a skull with a serpent protruding from its mouth, magically etched onto their forearm. This mark was both a badge of loyalty and a means for Voldemort to summon his followers. Hierarchy and organization. The Death Eaters operated under a strict hierarchy. Voldemort, the absolute leader. Inner Circle. His most trusted followers, including Bellatrix Lestrange, Barty Crouch Jr., Antonin Dolohov, Lucius Malfoy, and Severus Snape. Lower-ranking Death Eaters. New recruits and less influential members who carried out Voldemort's orders but held less status. Allied followers. Individuals like Fenrir Greyback, who worked with the Death Eaters but were never officially marked. Dark creatures and enslaved beings. Dementors, giants, and werewolves who joined Voldemort's forces, often under false promises of power and freedom. First Wizarding War, 1970 to 1981. By 1970, the Death Eaters were at full strength, launching a reign of terror on the wizarding world. They carried out assassinations, mass killings, torture, and political manipulation, creating an atmosphere of fear. The war raged for 11 years until Voldemort's downfall in 1981, when he attempted to kill Harry Potter but was destroyed by Lily Potter's sacrificial protection. In the aftermath, many Death Eaters were captured, imprisoned in Azkaban, or executed. Some, like Bellatrix Lestrange, remained loyal and continued committing crimes in Voldemort's name. Others, like Lucius Malfoy, claimed they had been under the Imperius Curse to avoid prosecution.
Second Wizarding War, 1995 to 1998. 13 years later, Voldemort's followers resurfaced. In 1995, the Dark Mark was seen at the Quidditch World Cup, signaling the return of Death Eater activity. When Voldemort regained his body in 1995, he summoned his followers and chastised them for abandoning him. Over the next 3 years, the Death Eaters played key roles in events like the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, 1996, where they sought the prophecy about Harry and Voldemort. The Battle of the Astronomy Tower, 1997, where Snape killed Dumbledore. The Fall of the Ministry, 1997, where they seized control of the wizarding government. The Battle of Hogwarts, 1998, the final confrontation that ended with Voldemort's defeat. What happened to the Death Eaters after Voldemort's fall? With Voldemort permanently destroyed and his Horcruxes gone, the Death Eaters fell into chaos. Many were captured and imprisoned in Azkaban, while others were hunted down. Some, like Draco Malfoy, renounced their allegiance and sought redemption, while others, like Bellatrix Lestrange, died fighting for their cause. However, the fate of some Death Eaters remains unknown. Figures like Alecto and Amicus Caro, or Augustus Rookwood, may have escaped justice, disappearing into the shadows. The wizarding world, however, remained vigilant, ensuring that Voldemort's legacy would never rise again. Final thoughts. And that wraps up today's deep dive into the Death Eaters. Their dark history is a testament to the power of fear, manipulation, and blind loyalty. If you enjoyed this analysis, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think some Death Eaters survived and went into hiding? And what other topics would you like us to explore next? Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.
While watching Potterheads. Goodbye.